Hey, how's it going, everybody? So I've been watching this series called The Ozark, and it's been giving me thoughts about like people and the idea of like persona and how actors can embody a person. Now, I might not be using the word persona right. It makes me think of the Persona game. Never played those games, but it makes me think about it nonetheless. Now, in my mind, a persona is a identity that you create for yourself, or a separate identity that is cultivated. Now, I don't know who Jason Bateman is as himself, but I do know the character from this series called Marty Byrde. It made me think about when the series ends, we wonder what's going on with these guys. What's going on with Marty Byrde and his family and stuff like that. Now, frankly, I haven't seen the rest of like season 4, so I don't know. But because they have an ongoing series and it doesn't work like Gantz, because a lot of movies and stuff don't work like the anime series Gantz, where the main character usually dies, I'm expecting a whole lot of Marty Byrde and his family. Probably a bunch of other variables changing, but like I expect the main cast to be like there. So it just made me think personas. That people should not be judged as a character on the series. I made a video about Ozark, the Ozark, whatever you want to call it, and it's involving Jason Bateman and a bunch of other actors. These are actors, right? So I don't know the true reality, or I'm sorry, the true persona behind these actors like Jason Bateman. But what I do know is the characters that they're portraying, that they're embodying, the persona that they're taking on based off the director. So I know a bit from Marty Byrde, his character Jason Bateman plays us. I don't really know who Jason Bateman is. I don't really know. I don't have any highs or lows. He embodies these characters. You can even judge that like sometimes you see a little bit too much of Jason Bateman, but at the same time, do we even know who Jason Bateman is? Like on his downtime, how do we know the persona we see throughout his movies and his media? How do we know that's truly who he is when he can go home and unwind and let the mask fall down? So it made me think that when we see people outside, we should not view them like we're viewing movies and stuff like that. Like we are criticizing, criticizing from our fourth wall. And I think we should see them lesser as concepts, lesser as just information to be spat back at, and more so as living embodied people, because that's what they are. They may have an image that's forever stuck on the internet, but they're people. They're based and judged off people. Now, forgive me, this sounds obvious, but I say this with the subtext that we do view people based on concepts around us, and we make prejudices based on those concepts around us. I think we should, on a case-by-case basis, view people objectively. It's one thing to understand when somebody's showing themselves to be intimidating, showing themselves to be one way or another. But it's another reason to use all this stuff as subtext to prepare yourself for, and at the same time to maybe be helpful in gauging an estimate of how they might react. But it's also good to just view them as the person that they are in a space. So that way when you talk to them, even if it's just a person you view them as a person before you view them as an entity that you are fond of, or a person, a thing, a subject that you're fond of. I think sometimes it's good for us to be a bit objective. I seen this post, this article from Mark Zuckerberg. He says we should focus more on relationships and less on objectives. Now, I didn't read the full article of that, but I didn't read the full article of that, but I found it to be pretty fascinating because, Mark Zuckerberg created the social network, or rather, he helped bring forth the social network Facebook, and or the Facebook, whatever you want to call it. And I found it just to be pretty fascinating that he speaks on, the importance of relationships. I think that's very important. So, I guess that's it. That's something I've been thinking about lately. Is low key. I was thinking about it, thinking about man, how can I talk to women and stuff like that. And I was low-key thinking about hooking up. But the thing is just like, I was thinking about like the idea of like, how does that even happen? You know, some people, they just got it like that. Some people, they got the drive like that. Some people, they got the desire like that. But sometimes it just makes me wonder, like, for myself, and I know I don't have the game like that. Sometimes you just have, I wonder if we view people just a bit more just who they are in reality in the space that they're in. And less as, ooh, she's a pretty girl, man, what should I say? I'm like, there's plenty of women I've talked to whom I haven't had an interest in, and I've talked to them very simply, and I've asked them how their day was, and looked around and did observation, made comments based off my observation, and you know, I just had a conversation going, you know, and I asked questions and all that stuff, and it turned out to be pretty decent. But the thing is that I keep my mind a bit open. I ask questions. I try not to put the pressure on them, and I try not to have so much pressure myself, and I let the conversation flow. And you'd be surprised when you relax all that tension in your body, relax all that tension in yourself and your thinking, how much more topics could come out. Because you, like, think about it. When you talk to a friend, you're not, like, focused on, like, a whole lot of, like, shoot, what should I say? How should I say it? You're just, like, you're calm, you're at ease. And that was one of the things I used to do when I was trying to help myself learn how to speak better. It was imagine one of my good friends from high school. I'd imagine talking to them, and I think that just adjusted as the time went on to somebody I was pretty not just fond of, but just someone I had a good impression from. And so I just would have this person embody that person. I would put a mental image on this person, a mental assumption. I'd imagine this person to be like, I'm trying to get like the right proper words to describe it. But like, I'd say, okay, I talk to you like I was talking to a good friend of mine. And then there wouldn't be much pressure. I'd be happy to talk to him and all that good stuff. I love you. Sometimes that helps because you're friends, you have confidence in, you don't have a bunch of negative perceptions about. And one of the great things is that you can see this person and you know this person is going to judge you. You know this person is always thinking good things for you and about you. So one of the blessings I do think when you talk to people, when you imply that idea that this could be probably or is just presumptively is a good friend I'm talking to, then you relax a lot more. The thoughts come in a lot quicker than they would if they were from a person who you just had all this anxiety about succeeding in a conversation with. Sometimes all you need is to relax. And I know that sounds hard, but I guarantee you it's not hard. There's people you have confidence in that you do not think twice about. And that's what you really need, because you need this person to be your best friend, you know, when you think about it. And how can you do that if you just have the nervous jitters and this person sees that and they're thinking, man, is this ball of stress, like, dang, like, I don't know if I want to engage with this ball of stress or spend any more time than I have right now engaging with this ball of stress. Because what if he's just stressed out all the time, you know? And that's sucks too, first impressions. Yeah, sometimes like the first impressions, they matter a whole lot, and they help you color what you can think of ahead of time what this person's like, being in your space and talking to you and stuff like that. So, I hope people can understand that how we view people in movies and media is probably very different to how we view people who we have confidence in, people who we interact with, and people we are born around and care about. And I think it's good for us to envision those same characteristics that we have of people we have confidence in toward people who we do not know, and the people who we may not have initial confidence in. All right, that's it. I'm working on my conversation conversational skills. So doing the breathing in between my thoughts. And so hopefully this helps me understand, and whoever's listening, if possible, to understand that having a good conversation with somebody isn't always determined by this perceived glorified state that you have for this other person. Sometimes you just gotta view them as a person and not a concept. Oh, they're like this, or they look like this, so they're probably from these type of people. You know, sometimes it's just good to view them as a good person, or view them as a person you have confidence in. And essentially a person, a bit more objectively, because you view them more objectively, you can view them with a sense of curiosity. And I do believe you give people a shot like that. People love the idea that you're curious about them. Hey, what's you doing? Oh, how you do that? Oh, man, that's great. That must be hard, is it? You know, ask questions. And I think people love, like, you know, when people say that people love to talk about themselves, I think part of it has to do with people love the fact that someone's interested in them and wants to hear their take. Because people love to share their own take on things. Love to, but it's not that it's pretty synonymous with the idea that people love to talk about themselves. It's just people love to share information, share their perspective, and have confidence in it, and engage with somebody personally that has confidence in them. Like, don't you love that when somebody has confidence in you and they believe you just feel like you want to talk to them more. And when you feel that, when you have confidence in them, you just go off the hinges, go off the rails, because you just like, yo, they will hear me out, they will understand, they'll get me. And I think, and that's just, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing when you have people, friends you care about, people you love, people who you've connected with, who have that sense of confidence in you. You're just like, man, that feels great. People who haven't given up on you, or people who haven't written you off. It just feels amazing. So, that's it. That's all I got.